been started and continues to beat us from. Because under this building code, and even the previous one, you could not build beacon to beacon, the question that you ask. But you find plans approved to build beacon to beacon. Yeah? Beacon to beacon means if your construction ends here, the other construction starts here. So what that means is that when this other construction is starting, they start to dig here. And we've just mentioned the issue of very deep excavations because we are going very high floors and we want to utilize the plot, the land, and we have to create basements for parking.
Right.
So when you excavate here and very deeply, then you undermine structurally this other building. And that's why you've seen these collapses. You saw one in Parklands where the wall and the excavation embankment came down and injured people. Of course, exposed the foundation of the other construction. So these approvals, but this is long before it gets to the registration of the project by the NCA.
Yeah.
So at the counties, and if it were possible, and it is possible, that these bodies stop working in silos, that the county government or the officer approving knows what the other law, the building code, stipulates. And anything not meeting the requirements of the code then doesn't pass that stage. Yeah? What we see instead is in some counties, even the people approving do not have the technical know-how. Find a clerk has been given the onerous task of approving designs of constructions that go up to 29th floor, 22nd floor. I mean, what are we doing? Instead of having a fellow designer, you see this building has been designed by someone.
Yes.
Have another one, a counterpart on the other. It's more like a peer review on the other side. So have you, here have you, there's a checklist. Have you. In some counties, you hear someone says, no, once I give you this approval, you go on and build. You don't need... And the other parties, there is NEMA.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's other bodies. Yeah. So, and you find now these approvals becoming purely a revenue generation sort of point. So the county just sees it as a way of generating revenue. What we don't look at is the problems that we are transferring or kicking ahead. Is that, and that comes in the issue of even areas that are controlled. You've seen, you know, structures coming. That construction you've seen, it's been approved from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a society that, these are the things that are so endemic that we need to start to deal with. And not because we don't have the laws or the codes, they're there. It is us as people deciding to start doing the right thing for our country. Not you only do what serves you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, be so self-serving that anything I do must have value for me. Would you want something for posterity, that I'm doing the right thing? When you approve a building of whatever height in an area where services are not there, even it's a controlled area, that's not, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? We have to begin, like you say, to be human and not view everything from a point of what is in it for me. Yeah.
It is quite sad, really. I mean, in other areas such as Europe, when you visit, there are buildings that have been there for thousands of years. You know, all they have to do is just refurbishment and maintenance.
Yes.
Because the foundations were done right. So I guess as a Kenyan who does not have any control, I go and rent an apartment, you know. I go to work into a building that I don't have any control over. Who is going to save Kenyans then?
I think basically it's the bodies that we've charged with these responsibilities. And I think it has come to a point where people carry the consequences of their decisions. So that decisions can be charged to a man, to a woman. It can be traced, you did this, so therefore you carry the burden for this. Yeah? If we have found you have approved a construction that has gone wrong, then we come for you. Yeah, if there are deaths around it, if it's come about after a collapse, then you carry the weight of that. The whole chain, from the executor, the contractor, down to the person who approved this. Holding people to account. I think it has to come down to that.
Holding people to account.
Yeah.
That is very important. You mentioned NEMA, and I remembered that there are environmental issues that have come up when it comes to construction. Of course, projects and sustainability, it's very important right now.
Yes.
So what is the role of quantity surveyors and also generally professionals in the built industry in protecting the environment? Also on that, we have seen demolitions happening around riparian lands. A few years later, there are buildings on those exact spots where demolitions were done.
Yeah.
Your comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all of us to build and to have constructions that are sustainable. In our area, I think we'll try more to use, there's now the green building,
right,
and where we choose the materials properly to use. And so that what we are doing is that we are guarding against our environment, and we are building buildings that are safer and better for people to live in. And you've seen that evolve, even in terms of, for instance, an item as paint. You've seen paint companies now coming up with friendlier and better paints that do not need to affect you or children who live in that environment. So it is a concerted effort of us as conservators, making sure even what we specify is a material that is not harmful to the inhabitants of a space, and despite serving the other functions, that it has that angle to it. In terms of demolitions, to trying to reclaim our riparian areas, again, the other thing that we lack a lot is the follow-through. Yeah? Other than the implementation, which also falls short, is that once we implement something, then the follow-through also is, and then continuous enforcement is what fails. We've seen that. We've seen people being removed from railway siding, and they come back again and build and continue to live. So we still back to the same point that we need to hold institutions to account. And those institutions, they are individuals. So we go down to the person. Yeah, identify as a person who is failing, and then be able to hold you to account.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'll stick with the issue of sustainability and green building.
Yes.
It seems that there is an opportunity there for innovation in terms of coming up with these sustainable building materials as well that can be used locally and are affordable. What's your thought on that? It's
taken root. It's taking root, and we are the thing that we need to do more, I think, is more of advocacy to educate our people. Of course, we're in third world, and you know, we also try and break our needs. Very basic. I want a roof over my head, but is roof at what cost? Yeah, is it, can I get same roof, but in a much safer materials, things that will not harm me or my people in the house. So that level of people to be able, as you build, because developers are, you know, there's the biggest developers, and the person in the village building their house, they're also a developer, or building something in their local shopping center. So that we continuous information, even as we require manufacturers and importers to bring in materials that are not harmful and that are good for the environment, then we also need to ask our people to be able to ask and demand for such. Yeah.
Because the market has to be there,
yes,
right, for
yes,
it to
yes,
make business sense.
Yes, yes.
Right. I would like you to comment on the future of the construction sector in Kenya and your message in terms of the use of quantity surveyors, or rather the uptake of quantity surveying consultancy in this country.
Okay. The future of the industry is bright if we fix certain things, like you said, regulatory. Yeah, if we make sure things are done properly, if we make sure people who come to our country or people who are building do the right thing, there is enough for everyone. If the regulator makes sure that if I'm building today, I've engaged the right professionals, yeah, and the contractor that I have, and because there are also requirements of contractors registered by the NCA. A registered contractor who will go ahead and register the project. I have consultants who will supervise this project properly. Then there's enough for everyone. This joblessness we will see will not be there. We are in an economy that we can engage all our people produced in this country. It's possible if people don't turn corners and others don't do their job as a regulator. You know, don't do your job. If you stop people abdicating their roles, if you're a regulator, you're regulating engineers, then play that role. We saw the other day a march by the engineers requiring 10,000 of them to be employed. For people who have kids who have worked so hard all their life to attain that qualification, we shouldn't have to see that. Yeah, we can put systems that these engineers are absorbed in, and there are many areas where they can be absorbed. Right now there is the government affordable housing program, which is huge in terms of the funds being expended there. And it is what you and I will pay in this levy. Even in it. And you can see a disconnect between, let me say the government, but because this is implementation of a manifesto of a party. So the leaders of that party have a vision, which is political, but delivering value to its people. But you will find a technocrat, an individual who is an employee of government, who should change a plan like that, yeah, who sit somewhere and do certain things that will make a program like that look less favorable. Whereas it's eventually is also a political angle to it. You know, someone will use it and say, look, but there's an individual, one person who is part of the system, who does not connect the dot between this project and what it means for the proponents of it, who are politicians. Because if you help give it a bad name, then you've killed what it is that these people also wanted to get out of it. Yeah. Of course, there are many things I want to get out of it. It's probably give people decent, dignified housing. Yeah. But also out of that, get some political mileage. But you're sitting here as a technocrat. You're sort of chopping the legs of those people who have this idea. It's not yours, it's theirs. So that's what I'm saying, is we have to get to a point where we do things a little more selflessly. Yeah? If you're a technocrat, a government has found you in the office and it has this plan, you make it work so that it gets its mileage out of it, people benefit properly. Benefit properly is, as people get housing, this program employs people. And we're talking about the issue of unemployment. Yeah. You make sure that it employs people so that you're curing this problem, which is also a goal of this political outfit. You don't sit and do your own things and you're trying to, you know, procure your own things in a funny way that undermines the bigger picture of this. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. So we need to start, I would say, just start being human. Being human, yes, and doing things because selflessly. The affordable housing program can absorb so many of these people we're talking about, can employ so many of these consultants, but there are individuals who are, their work is to block here, block there, do this, do that.
Thank you. Let us hope that more people begin to do things humanly and selflessly and do the right thing.
Thank you.
Asante sana for your thoughts. That is QS Mutinda Mutuku, who is the president of the Institute of Quantity Surveyors of Kenya. We have been discussing the place of quantity surveying in the Kenyan built environment, as well as their role and what the professionals in that industry should do. Of course, if you are embarking on a construction project, be sure to engage qualified professionals for your money's sake and the safety of the people. My name is Betty Kiptum and Lensa Odingo is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Thank you very much for watching BizCheck. That is where we close it. Kurunzi Mashinani is coming up in about 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
If you visit a large mall in Japan, one thing you're almost certain to see is a game arcade. Despite the spread of online games played at home, constant innovation and unique attractions keep people coming to these arcades. The most popular games are those that require both physical and mental skills to win. An example is this game, using a traditional wadaiko drum. You score points by beating the drum exactly in time to the ever-changing display. Beating the drum is a great feeling. The popularity of such active games inspired the creation of this new centre. Its attractions combine games and sports. In this game, players run from side to side, tilting the seesaw to move the ball on screen into the basket. This is their most popular game. Players race to beat different animals projected on the wall behind them. It's the first game of the kind in the world. I beat him! One familiar game remains so popular it accounts for 60% of Japanese arcade sales. It's the crane game. Yes, the classic game using a crane with a claw to pick up prizes. It's really simple to operate with just 2 buttons to move the crane to your target. The secret of its popularity is the prizes, unique items you can only get by playing this game. Children and parents alike love to play it. The unique attraction of the crane game is the tension. Whether you just catch the prize or just miss it, it's always a thrill. These are magical machines that make everyone smile. How popular are crane games? This dedicated arcade has an incredible 350 of them. Prizes come in all shapes and sizes. For such a simple concept, winning takes quite a lot of skill. The arcade offers a training program with tests and certificates to help players improve their technique. Training is done on the actual machines. The instructor is Igarashi Naoya, a professional gamer. Here, he's demonstrating how to pick up a box, one of the more difficult objects to grab firmly. First, move one of the open arms right next to the prize. Then when the arms close, it will shift the prize to one side. Stuffed animals easily fall out of the claws. The trick is to press the center of the crane onto the animal to make 3 points of contact. For a pile of small animals, it's easiest to just break up the pile. Other techniques include hooking onto straps or pushing objects over the edge. Players need many techniques to handle all the possibilities. Much of the appeal of crane games lies in the multiple strategies required to win. It's such fun. I think it made my game much better. Now for the test. The hardest technique is to hook the claws under the sides of a box top. The youngest challenger today is a girl who's come with her dad. Wow! I've never seen someone so young managing before. Well done! Game arcades remain popular with all ages. They act as community spaces for people to enjoy playing together.
welcome to Rema Feast, Pastor Nathaniel Bassey. 4th and 5th of September, Uhuru Park, Nairobi.
Na mbono nangengania bwana ya mwenye na nilimwambia wewe I'm actually married.
So what
to 5 breathing wives.
Kazi ya ujasusi ni kazi ambao inakutambulisha ujue ule mtu mahali yako na vile ako mpaka jina.
Can you tell this honorable court what is the name of that person? Because your honor, money has been poured. Mbona sijakotoa ngozi niuse na pia inatengeneza